welcome to episode 5 of the On a Family Basis podcast. My name is Jake.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dallas.
And we are 4 cousins taking a trip around the bases, talking about baseball and the recent news and topics that need further discussion. As you can tell, because there were only 3 of us, Dan is still on vacation, so next week we'll get him back on board. As we always do, every episode, we start off with what have we been watching? So, Dallas, what have you been watching this past week in sports, but also just in general?
Haven't been watching a whole lot of anything, actually. I'm kind of really busy at work, unfortunately. So, missed both playoff games yesterday. So, I'm out.
All right, Del, let me ask you a question just real quick. Since you didn't watch anything this weekend, what's the one movie you've seen the most time in your life? Go.
Probably.
If you had to pick one singular movie.
These Step Brothers.
See, I was thinking that, and then I told Dave that it was probably Saving Silverman. For every night that I slept over at your house for 3 straight years, and we watched that every night before bed. It's probably
the thing is, I never made it past 10 minutes. So I can't count that.
You've seen it 10. You've seen the beginning 10 times. 10 minutes 10 times. You've seen
so many times. It's gross. I can relive that. I still to this day dream that scene.
Wow.
Okay, so I watched football, and as you know, Jake, I complained to you yesterday about day playoff games. I think they stinky poo-poo. I like night playoff games because I feel like playoff games are supposed to be exciting, prime time, in the moment. They had nothing else going on Saturday night, so they absolutely could have put one of the games on Saturday, one of the games on Sunday, and you just maximize your viewership. Now, I get the idea of having like a football Sunday. That's cool. It's fine. Whatever. But give me the primetime games. Give me 2 7 o'clock kickoffs. Maximize viewership. But either way, they were great games. I had a lot of fun watching them. I wanted the Rams to win, and I wanted the Chiefs to win because, State Farm, Mahomes, it's my guy. It's my boy. Yeah, I'm a corporate stooge. No, but I love Mahomes. I think he's incredibly good. So watching him play anytime is awesome. But, I'll take it. I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl. Like 95% of most people on Sunday. So, yeah, I just watch football pretty much. And then I started watching the Sunny podcast. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They have a podcast where they recap each episode and they kind of just joke around and stuff. And that's been a lot of fun. So I've been watching that, or listening to that, I should say.
So you like that show enough?
There are no other podcasts besides ours.
Okay? No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's my fault. That's my fault. Just cut that from the record. Just strike that. Edit that out.
Got it.
Edit that out.
This past weekend, I did watch both games. I think I watched the Chiefs and the Bengals game. I watched every single play of that game. So that was the first time in maybe my life. And so that was a good game. I wanted the Chiefs to win. I lived in Missouri for quite a while, as you guys may know. So a lot of Chiefs fans as friends. So they were all very, very sad that this time it didn't pan out. And then the Rams and, I already forgot, Niners. I watched the 4th quarter of that game. And it turned out to end well. So, but this past week, I've actually been rewatching the Marvel on Netflix series Daredevil. So I've been watching that. So that's a very, very good show. I've watched 1st and 2nd season already, and it's.
Can I take a timeout, a quick detour? Are you all caught up with like Hawkeye and everything?
Yep, seen everything.
Okay, so then you saw the ending of Hawkeye, dude.
Yep.
And then Spider-Man. Did you see Spider-Man when it came out?
Yep.
Bro, I went. I love Daredevil, so that's like my jam. That show was, I absolutely love it. So when I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm gonna say. I was here in the theater, brother. I was here. Oof.
No, it's funny. I didn't see the Spider-Man movie. I didn't see No Way Home until about a month after it came out, so like early mid-January. But
Hmm.
I saw the Hawkeye and before I saw No Way Home, so it kind of had
Oh, so
feeling like it may tie together somehow, and it turned out to be very fun. Say that. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely,
good.
absolutely.
I mean, again, I I wouldn't talk about this very much on this podcast, maybe on occasion or in future episodes, but everything Marvel, even comic books, I try to read at least one Marvel comic book a day, and so I eat it up. So I can't wait for Moon Knight that starts in March. So should
Yeah,
be
that
good.
looks really fun. That looks really.
Actually, this week I want to start off with a trivia question, and this comes from the news, but now it's debated if it's actually news or not. There was news, I think it was yesterday or even Saturday, that Tom Brady apparently is going to retire.
Hmm.
Now, this news is being disputed now by Tom Brady's dad and whoever
My
else.
dad said.
Yeah, my dad said I'm not.
My dad said I'm
But
not retiring, so I'm not
what
retiring.
what so Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls, which everyone always talks about. So the background question or background info is that there are 6 players in baseball history who have more than 7 championships. There are 6 that have
Wow.
more than 7. So, who is the baseball player with the most World Series rings?
Off the top of my head, if I had to guess, I
Yeah,
would say Yogi Berra, but I don't know.
yeah.
Yogi Berra is my guess
I,
because he's got all those Yankees from like 40s through whenever he retired. That's my yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I was just gonna say Jeter, but that would be only like 4. So
Yeah, it's not Jeter. It is Yogi. So he has 10. He has
Wow,
10.
dude,
So,
that's like Bill Russell. Like Bill Russell had
oh yeah,
11, right? So he had 10, and then he found one for his big toe too. Stuck on his big toe.
that's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. So as you can imagine, most of the top, I think it was top like 20 players as far as championships are all Yankees. Who would have thought?
Right.
Yeah, I
That's
would
weird.
assume Yankees or Cardinals, right? Because they have the most between them,
Yeah, but
the
it's
two
Yankee.
teams.
It's the Yankees because in between the 20s and 30s they won so many. So either way, that was the. I want to quickly just read some headlines, some news from this past week. So we don't even have to discuss this stuff because this is you can. I'll put the links in the podcast notes and on YouTube. So if you guys want to, you can read about these stories. So as we talked about in our group chat. Tennessee Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown said on Twitter he retweeted a tweet about Bo Jackson playing in both the NFL and MLB at the same time. The wide receiver A.J. Brown kind of hinted at, joked about trying to play baseball in his spare time. He was the second player ever in history in high school to be in the Under Armour All American baseball and football games. So he obviously was talented to say the least, but he was never able to play baseball at Ole Miss where he went to college because he actually signed with the Padres out of high school, so he couldn't play college baseball. So it kind of hinted at that. I think that is a joke. I know Ben, you sent me that, and I was like, "There's no way." I know he was
Dude,
joking
that's
about that.
insanely talented,
I
freakishly
mean,
talented. Yeah.
if you're an All American in one sport, that's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
two,
Two?
and then signing, crazy. All right, so the second story comes out of the New York Mets organization. So in last year, I don't know if you guys know, and I bring this up because Dallas actually has a connection to this story. So last year, in the MLB draft, 2 Vanderbilt pitchers went in the top 10. Jack Leiter, but then also there was a pitcher named Kumar Rocker, who was selected 10th overall to the Mets. But the Mets, after they drafted him 10th overall, saw on some scans and were scared about some of the images they saw of his throwing elbow. So they didn't even sign him. They didn't sign their 10th overall pick because they were scared that maybe it's worse than they thought. So, but the story actually goes on because supposedly, if you don't sign out of being drafted and you leave college, which is he'll have Vanderbilt, he actually is not able to sign to another team, so he actually has to play independent baseball this year. But he's still in the top 50 prospects. So do you play that much or do you not?
I think he'll have to.
I mean, maybe, or maybe he gets hurt.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
If he doesn't play, they're gonna think that they were right in not signing him.
Yeah, it's kind of as I read in this article, it's kind of a catch-22. If he doesn't play,
Right.
then it looks like he's injured. But if he plays and he doesn't play well, then he could lose draft stock. So the only option is to play and play well.
Right.
Really.
Here's my thing on most teams, and we talked about this a little bit about contracts. I think last week or whenever it was. The Mets. How much were they going to pay Kumar Rocker? Like, how much does that 10th pick get? Because I think it's slotted, right? It's not a ton of money. It's not earth-shattering money.
I think most of the money comes from a signing bonus, and they dropped their offer from a signing bonus, I think of like 10 mil to something like 5 or 6. And Kumar Rocker decided to not sign that.
Sure. So let's say the Mets come out and sign pitcher ABC next year on a 1-year deal. He's a veteran. They give him $10 million guaranteed. And then he blows out his elbow. So you just wasted a year and $10 million anyways. So why not lock in a guy that you can have for multiple years, who's 21 years old, maybe, clearly one of the 2 most electric arms in all of college baseball last year. Why not pay the money? You take the hit, fine. He needs Tommy John or he needs whatever. You sit it 1 year. They kept Syndergaard for how long?
Yeah,
and he was hurt every year.
Maybe they're afraid of that.
I guess, dude, but I don't know. I just feel like if you're the Mets and you're Steve Cohen and you're a billionaire, you can afford to spend a little money and take a risk on a guy who might be hurt 1 season, but then you still get the rest of his career that could be great.
Yeah.
So it just seems like a risk not worth taking if I was the Mets. But.
Yeah, it very much seems like why not lock in the player for 7 years? Worst case scenario, he has to have surgery, like everyone does nowadays.
Especially pitchers and Tommy John, yeah.
But some people are saying, if it's that bad and they didn't sign him, it must be really bad. So
yeah, I mean that is the other thing. I guess I don't have access to the imaging, and even if I did, I wouldn't know what I was looking at. So I get that, but it's still like if I'm the team, I'm taking the risk and signing.
Let's actually go to our first base topic, which actually has to do with MLB The Show. So just today, this is on Monday night, MLB The Show announced their cover athlete. And who is their cover athlete? No way, it's Shohei. Crazy. So their cover athlete is Shohei Ohtani.
The least surprising news.
Yeah, I mean, as kind of everyone online said it was going to be him anyway, so it wasn't a huge surprise. So what are your thoughts? Was it a good pick, obvious pick, or maybe should they have gone a different route? Ben, what you think?
Oh, it was the only pick I think they could have made. Realistically, you want somebody like so they did Tatis on this I guess last year's game, however you want to look at it, this year, last year, the one that's out. And if you're trying to reach like a young demographic, which MLB clearly needs, they need to invest in young, youthful players. And there's no player in baseball right now who's got more eyes on him, who's more captivating, who's more, popular and electric than Shohei Ohtani, right?
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, who else would you put on your cover? I mean, that is like the prime example. That's why you put Mahomes on that. That's why you put Lamar Jackson on your game. That's why you put like these guys that are going to get eyeballs and get people to play the game. You know what I mean? So like I remember for the longest time back when we were growing up, All-Star Baseball was one man. It was number 2, baby. It was El Capitan, right? So then he goes all those years, and then when they start switching it up, and then it was fun. And then you're trying to guess who's going to be on this year's cover, who's going to be on Madden this year. Remember when Eddie George was on the cover of that Madden that first came out? That was like the first one post John Madden being on the cover. It was like, oh, we got a whole different ballgame. Now there's players on the cover. Now you're trying to guess who it is. And it became like a cool little part of each year's presentation of the game. So, yeah, like I said, I think Shohei absolutely was the right pick, was the only pick, I think, for this year, just like Tatis made 100% sense last year.
Yeah, what do you think?
The most logical, only pick, really. Like, I mean, Benny pretty much touched on everything, but one of the episodes that we talked about him earlier, like he's the dude to follow right now. He's a threat on the mound, in the field, and at the plate. Like, who else? Who else can do that?
Triple threat,
if you will. Quadruple threat, because he's coming for your girl too. You better watch out.
And he put liquid paper on a beat,
and it died.
I do think it's really the only pick, as you said, but I do believe that they could have gone a different route. I think maybe having something where you do, I would be interested to see if they do a pitching cover for one version and then they do a hitting version. So the one thing I would say is that if baseball wanted to kind of make it interesting, is they could have had someone like Vlad Guerrero Jr. on one and then had DeGrom on the other one, because one hitting, one pitching, which one do you pick? I think it could have been fun, but if they do that with Shohei, I don't think they'll get the same amount of sales because you're still getting the same guy. But for some reason, having two versions makes people like, it's another discussion piece. It's like, which one are you getting?
So I don't know if you saw, but it got leaked by Nintendo. So they weren't going to release who the legendary cover is right away. And then Nintendo accidentally dropped it. Did you see who it is?
No.
It's Jeter. Jeter's finally going to be in the show. So because he hasn't been in the show. He's going to be in the show, and it's the $100 version, and I'm going to pre-order it as soon as my wife lets me. So, boom.
Yeah.
As soon as I can clear that. Yeah. As soon as I don't get beat up. All right.
As soon as I get approved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. As soon as I get it past HR.
I'm right there with you. Once it's kind of a green light, we'll see.
Jump throw. I'm going to Jeter jump throw. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be first base. Just jump, chuck, and
so the one question I had based on that was kind of a reflection question, and I think Ben, we'll start with you on this. But as kids, when we were growing up, baseball video games were kind of instrumental. They were super influential to our upbringing, our love of baseball, just kind of our introduction to the overall culture of baseball. So is that still the same thing now? Or do you see this next generation not really caring too much about like a specific sport video game? Because if you look around, you see sports video games are still very popular. But when it comes to baseball, is this still as important or influential, or do you think it should be?
So that's a great question. We talked about I talked about it a little while ago when we mentioned Jeter was on the covers, all those old All-Star baseball games. Like Dan and I talked about this not that long ago. He and I that's how I learned to keep score, because we would take my dad's old scorebooks from the season that we just played at Isaac Walton or whatever, and they had all the extra pages in the back, and we would literally keep score while playing N64 during this baseball game, right? Because that shit, it was that ingrained in like,
Man,
baseball was life.
nerdy.
Oh, I know. But it was like baseball was life for us back then. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it, if we're talking video game aspect, it's changed because everything went online now. Like the only way we could have played video games together is if we were at each other's house, sitting
Right.
shoulder to shoulder, like this close, breathing on each other's faces on a 32-inch tube TV, if we were lucky to have the big TV free. You know what I mean? Had to play in system, in person on that. When everything expanded and we got better video games and everything blew up like that, you were always going to have your baseball contingency. So the people that were always going to buy baseball games were always going to buy baseball games. Those are baseball fans. But baseball is having a hard time attracting new fans, getting younger people to come in and watch the product. So I don't think, like Jake, to your point, I don't think it's really going to matter who they put on the cover. Really? I mean, if the idea is to put somebody on the cover of the game that's going to get new fans, Shohei was the guy to do it. But I also don't know if that's really going to move the needle that much in attracting new fans. So I just think baseball is having a hard time doing that in general. I mean, that's just like viewership, that's interactions on social media, that's everything. Baseball's just been struggling in that realm for a while. So I don't think it was really going to matter who they put on the cover to move a lot of sales. But I think, Shohei was the right guy to go with. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Dal, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I really, I think if I'm addressing the question appropriately, I think video games are equally, if not more important to kids for the sports. Just, because that's how I learned the rosters. And like, I only still know late 90s and early 2000s baseball players. And that's because I played the video game so much and watched it. And you become more vested when you have more personal attachment to it. And since I've stopped playing any sports video games, I can't tell you a full roster of any team today. So I don't know if that's a strong enough correlation, but it works for me.
So, Dallas, you talked about games kind of growing up. Is there one particular game that kind of stands out as something that we played together? Like one game that would stick out?
No Mercy.
Oh, got some
Always.
wrestling in there.
Oh yeah, let's do it. We'll bring the rest.
The real sport, the proper American tussle.
I mean,
but All-Star Baseball was the go-to for all of us. I would definitely say it was bigger than Madden. It was bigger. I mean, what were the sports games back then? You had NBA Jam for a little bit.
He's heating up. Or
like all the basketball
Blitz?
games were fun, but they were not good. Blitz was fun, yeah. Blitz was probably more of the football game than Madden was back then. Like people liked Madden, but it didn't have the following that it has today.
Now Blitz was more cartoony, and it obviously was like it tapped into that 1990s like unnecessary aggression. Well, that's what I mean.
thought it was
like,
pretty realistic.
It really tapped into that. Like we're gonna get our video games are gonna be dudes in ice cream trucks running around smashing into each other. I don't even remember the name of that game. What was that game? Twisted Metal, right? Or Twisted
Metal.
Oh, right.
Twisted, yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, Jake, NFL Street, NBA Street, those games were incredible.
Those were fun.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little SIRI malfunction when you asked the question, so I think I caught on. Like, what were the influential games that we played?
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah.
So like, No Mercy absolutely needs to be on that list. And then if we're talking super competitive, but not necessarily sports, it's got to be Mario Party, right? Or any of those Mario, like, dude. But then even the Mario Tennis, how incredible is Mario?
Kind of growing up, the only thing I could remember clearly is Red All-Star Baseball. All-Star Baseball 2001. I mean, that for some reason, the image of that game will just stick in my brain for really as long as possible. I mean, I have a brain injury, and I still remember that game clear. So
it was great.
Yeah, talk
mean,
about
it
leaving
just
a lasting impact. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, but also let me just say for reference, like right after I, acquired my brain injury, like 2 weeks later, I was watching Power Rangers, a movie from the '90s, and I knew every line. So I mean, maybe it's not like a huge deal,
It
but
was just what was important to you. That's
Yeah.
what
right,
And the
yeah.
Power
So
Rangers and All Star Baseball is.
I mean,
is life
those things
still.
matter. So
Yo,
I
side note,
walked in, Jake
I
was like,
sent.
"Who are you?"
Get out of
yeah,
the way. The red Power Rangers on TV.
Watching Power Rangers.
No, so I sent Dave this
What-
picture the other day. It was the greatest crossover event ever. It was the Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles. So the Ninja Turtles like morphed in the, or maybe I sent it to you guys. Is that who I sent? I don't know. But
No,
it
I've seen
was,
that
it was incredible. I was like, this is, if I was
though. I
10
saw a
years
picture
old,
of
my
it.
head would have
Was
exploded.
Oh yeah, dude, it would have been insane. Did they just do that crossover?
I think
It was
so.
a while ago, right?
Oh, I know. Maybe they didn't. I just saw the picture.
yeah, definitely don't remember that. So it's probably recent. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm gonna guess that we're gonna start playing some of that game. So that game does get released. I believe it's April 5th. So
Oh,
probably
nice.
get it either on that day or pretty soon after. Again,
It's like
if
right around
if it's
Thanksgiving.
approved, if it's approved
The day after
in the
Kendra's
budget.
birthday, maybe she'll
Yeah,
give me a
if it's
gift.
for her birthday. Yeah, if it's approved and I get the A-OK from the boss. So.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll definitely get just the regular version.
Let's actually hit second base, and this topic was actually brought to us by Dallas. And this topic concerns minor league baseball and the housing policy, the housing plan that's coming up for the first time ever whenever their season does begin. So, if you guys weren't following, which to be honest, I didn't know this even happened until I think it was late December. So, I didn't even know that the minors were having housing approved. So, it's brand new info. So, if you guys don't know, again, I'll put this in the bio, and if you guys look down in the podcast, I'll put this link on there so you can read a couple articles about this. So, kind of the gist of it is that the minor leagues have never had a players association, and they're not under the professional PA. So they never had much representation when it comes to, or any sort of sit down seat at the table when it comes to their salaries, what's provided by the team. So the minors, for the first time ever, are going to receive housing from their teams. In response to it, the advocacy group for the minor leaguers, which again is called Advocates for Minor Leaguers, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty on
They
the nose
say
on that
that,
one.
yeah. I mean, I guess you get right to it, so
Yeah.
makes sense. So they said just recently, I think it was this past Thursday, that now with this they call it a massive player victory that was even still, they said it was unilaterally determined by MLB. They said that there are three possible issues with the policy, and with those three issues are not providing privacy of their own bedroom. They're not accommodating to players who are married, and then also they're going to have host families potentially for players instead of providing their own rooms. So that kind of came out as a recent, but I don't know if you guys knew this until I looked it up. But can you guys guess what the financial compensation for a minor league player is? You guys know that?
200,000, 150,000,
I would say it is significantly less than what Dallas is saying.
50,000.
I would say it's probably less than that. Probably like 35, 35, 30.
Wait, are we talking independent league or AAA?
Minor leagues, yeah.
All right, so
We're talking about
and
AAA
again,
ball players getting $30,000.
so we're not scratching their surface really. So
Damn.
there's different pay. It's a minimum, but let's just say that players are getting double the minimum, which is not going to be the case. But let's just say they're getting double. So there's different pay per league. So if you're in rookie ball, A ball, double A, or triple A, which are all in the minors, you actually only if you're in the rookie league, minimum salary is $400 a week. For single A, it's 500 a week. For double A, it's 600 a week. For triple A, it's 700 a week. And the big and in there is that they only get paid during the season. So let's just do that math, shall we? If you get paid $700 a week, let's say for 26 weeks, you would get paid a little over $18,000 in 6 months.
That's pretty trash.
That's such a deal, dude.
And that's horrible. So anyway, so again, that's minimum. So let's not say everyone's getting paid minimum, but let's say the average.
I would say more players
player-
are probably getting paid closer to minimum than are getting paid probably closer or over.
I mean, yes. So and those are players that are on their first deal with the team. So if you're
Sure.
on your second deal and you're in the minors, then you get paid more. But whatever, it's what it doesn't matter too much. But
It's not
but-
great.
it's not great. And then also, again, up until this year, they didn't have their housing paid for. They don't
Right.
have their food paid for. They have travel and equipment, but they don't have any financial freedom when it comes to housing and food. So anyway, you're paid nothing. And then for 6 months, you're probably working a second job just to really provide.
Just to try to
You
live.
mean a second job to like have your cell phone? Because
Yes.
damn.
I mean, again, so when you really look at it, it's not much. So that's the
to
situation.
say the least.
$400 a week, dude.
I mean, imagine again. These are usually, and again, this is usually players on their first contract. So these are guys anywhere from 18 to 25 to up to 29, 30, who are getting paid under minimum wage, and also they getting paid under the poverty line.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, and that this may be a very leading question, but I don't care. I have an opinion. So the question is, should minor league players be happy that they're getting paid anything as a potential stepping stone to the pros, or should minor leaguers possibly take further steps to develop their own PA?
I think realistically they need to unionize. We are from pro-union families, I believe, as a lot of union workers in our blood, brother. So red, white, and blue. No, honestly, if I'm being serious, those numbers are insane. Everyone, you said that you're an athlete, right? And there's like this expectation that comes with that of you look like you drive a Rolls Royce and you got money just falling out of your pockets left and right, like you're just this guy. And it's the opportunity, it's the desire, right, to eventually
My boy,
get
they're
to that
getting
point.
$700 a week taxed though. Bro.
No. That's what I'm saying. The perception by people is that baseball players and athletes are super rich, but they don't realize like the numbers. Like I didn't realize how little they were getting paid. I don't think any of us really truly realized how little they were getting paid.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's the perception. It's hard to change people's minds when you say I'm an athlete and I'm broke. They're like, how can you be an athlete when I see player X, Y, and Z making hundreds of millions of dollars, yada yada. Right? That was the point.
Right.
Obviously, I know minor leaguers aren't
That's a
making
good
a ton of
point.
money. But it's just they need to unionize if they genuinely want to make change
that bread.
and get livable wages and have housing and do stuff that's important and necessary for human life. Yeah, I mean, they obviously need to try and unionize, don't you think?
Dude, before we even like get to the pay, let's revisit the fact that they have host families, bro. Like, bro, like you
foreign
couch
exchange
crashing
students.
in someone's basement, bro. Like you don't know these people. Like they're just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go play baseball. I'll be back in a couple hours, and then go to my job at Walt's bagging groceries because I'm hungry. So
yeah. I gotta eat. I'm gonna eat 2 hot dogs every day.
Dude, like that's insane.
And that's gonna
like
be my lunch and dinner.
I mean, I can't. And business prospect. I mean, from the like financial side, like you got to think, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure they're making money, obviously, at minor league games, but I mean, you go to a minor league game because it's cheaper, right? So, I mean, true. Like, I'm sure, like the wages, even if like they can get more, it's still not gonna be anything comparable to the league minimum for the MLB, which is what, 600,000. So, like, I mean,
the minimum is 570,000.
Okay, close. So I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, and again, like I can't walk on to a AAA ball team, so like I'm not arguing that fact like by any means. Like they maybe I can like carry their bats, but like they could they should be getting paid more. So, but yeah, unionizing and it's strength in numbers. I always believe that you got to make a stand because nobody's going to pay to see me play ball when they could be seeing a AAA ball player play.
Fight for the rights of every man. Jake, we gotta find a way to get Hulk Hogan's theme song and play it anytime Dallas does big.
And let's get Hulk Hogan on the show.
Yeah.
If you guys want to reach out, go ahead.
Okay.
I will.
I'll be put in charge of reaching out to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Benny, make that happen.
I think as I was doing some research for this, and again, I'm not super well versed, and maybe I'm even getting some stuff wrong right now, but I will say this is that the one stat I know is a hard stat is that the Major League Baseball, an average Major League Baseball team is worth around $2 billion. And their minor league affiliate teams do get funding from them as well. So they're not without another revenue stream. So with these teams having that much money, again, net worth is different than what kind of cash they have. I get that. I know that stuff. But when it comes to overall worth and value, and when you look at it and you compare it to, if you just are aware of the income that's coming into players, it just to me it's just subjective. You can't really help but want the players and people, I mean, they're human beings, to have more for themselves and then for their families.
Right, because we're going there to watch them. So I mean, they're the the stars of this show. Like they need to get compensated for thousands of people traveling to watch them play.
Yeah, but I mean, how can they afford the robot arms coming to AAA if we can't even afford to pay the players? You know?
I mean, how about pay the players more money than have
call the games themselves?
Umpires.
Yeah.
The batters
take all of that money. Just put it all in a fund for their team and just move on.
I heard the company who did the Arizona vote audit is the company doing the minor league umpiring.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, they actually kind of No, go ahead, Dal.
What do they call those guys? The some crazy. You guys remember their name?
It was the most ridiculous, like cyber
Rangers,
cyber ninjas or something.
No, cyber ninjas. All right. I mean, in some way that kind of does transfer to the next bit of minor league baseball news. Is that it just came out this past week. It was actually a memo that was leaked, and a baseball insider, Jeff Passan, again, he's kind of my go-to when it comes to any sort of news or updates. He let out that in a memo sent around, and it was acquired by ESPN, they will not have a mandate for players to be vaccinated this upcoming season, but they will have managers and staff be, quote, up to date. So kind of begs the question, why not the players? So
It just sounds.
This is not a political take, but I will say this. It seems dumb.
Dude, there's nothing political about vaccines until Donald Trump opened his mouth. And so nobody in politics was ever like, oh, why are you guys getting the flu shot? That's the dumbest thing in the world. Oh, why do you guys not like measles? And, like,
let's bring back chickenpox
what's your
and
problem?
smallpox.
Yeah, right.
Here we go,
Like,
polio. Here we go.
Like, oh, and also simply from a business standpoint, you would think you would want your players. I mean, I understand like mandating, and people are like, Constitution, but like, it's a private business. So if they want to install a mandate, they can do that. So do it. Like I like from a business standpoint, you lose your players due to a sickness, like you're losing money then. So why would they be interested in that? So it's just enforce a mandate, get vaccinated. It's not gonna hurt you.
And again, this is not a political show. It's not political to say that we want our players to be healthy. We would like our minor leaguers who get paid nothing to be safe and have a future in the league. So I don't foresee any sort of real issue. So yeah, but I don't know.
Politics aside, man. Politics aside, just be healthy so you can play ball.
The third base topic is actually going to be something where it actually would help if we had a video component to this. So what I'll do is I'll post it onto our Instagram and our Twitter so that you guys can see this.
Oh yeah, Deb?
So yeah, Deb's probably opening a bag of chips or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's all set. You muted. Hold on. All right.
It was popcorn.
Oh,
I didn't know you guys could hear that.
Oh yeah, very clear. All right, so again, this is a visual medium. So what I'll say is, if you guys want to check out our top 10 logos in our favorite ballpark, what I'll do is I'll post it to our Instagram and to our Twitter, so you guys can possibly see our list, and then you guys can add in if you think my picks or anyone else's picks are horrible. And you guys can go to Instagram or Twitter, and the handle for both is Family Bases Pod. Family Bases Pod. And that's both on Instagram and Twitter. So what I'll do for us is I'll put it on what we're gonna just do is we will transfer over and look at our top 10 logos. So Ben, I had you starting off. Why don't you just get his popcorn going?
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, yes, popcorn. We can hear your popcorn.
Yeah, you think you put a silencer on the microwave, brother?
Yeah, I got these. I got the AirPods. I thought that they would. I'm so sorry. I thought that
your microwave is going off.
I thought it was like noise canceling for you guys too.
That's not how it works.
I think it's noise amplifying for everybody else.
Can you guys see me? Is this video on?
Yeah. Anyway,
how do you work a text message?
So,
all right, Jake, I'm starting off. We're going hot. Here we go.
Yeah. So Ben,
give us all the
just start off. This is Ben's number 10.
Boom,
What's your number 10?
Let me tell you this. It's clean. The black is clean. I like the orange on the black. It's unique in sports. Not a lot of teams do orange and black. You have the Bengals. You have the Orioles. I'm trying to think of other teams that might be orange and black, and I am failing. I think the cursive O is nice as well. I think the cursive O is a good look.
All right, so number 9 is the Yankees.
Bam! That is the baseball logo. That is the most classic logo in all of Major League Baseball. It's Americana, red, white, and blue. You have the Yankee Doodle hat. You have, Apollo Creed's hat on the ball there. Go Yankees.
All right, next one is actually very small. So what I'll do is zoom in. So Ben, you have the Brewers.
Yeah, we're going old school Milwaukee Brewers with the M and the B that makes a glove. It took me way longer than it should have to realize that's what it was. I thought it was just a glove.
Wow.
And I like that paler blue, or the more blue than the darker navy that they kind of went with
Royal.
in the 2000s.
It's royal blue, Benny.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
Yeah. Right,
also, I can't believe what a fool he thought that was a glove.
I mean,
it
looks.
I literally thought that until today. I thought it until right now.
It is a glove.
Right now, I didn't notice it was an M and a B though. I had no idea until you said that. Like everyone knew it.
A long time too.
And I was like, wait,
no, I didn't
what?
know that. By the way, my computer might die, so I'm trying to revive the charger as we're going here. So if I get cut out, that's why.
Yes. All right, so number 7. Why don't you go through quick
old school, baby? Yeah, old school. Montreal Expos, obviously. That logo is incredible. It's a real shame that they don't have a team in Montreal. I was really pumped that the Rays might go out that way and play some games this year. But I love the baseball logo, red, white, and blue. Again, can't go wrong with that color combination.
Yeah. All right. Number 6 is the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. Emphasis on the two dopey-looking dudes shaking hands there. Yeah, that's an incredible logo. That's an incredible logo for the Twin Cities. You have the M, now the guy on the left for Minneapolis. You have St. Paul, the gentleman on the right. It's a great logo.
Yeah. All right. Number 5. You have the Cubs.
Yeah, I had to go with a homer pick. Obviously, the Cubs were going to way to go, but it was just which Cubs logo I liked the most, and I always liked ones where they were more emphasis on the bear aspect of it. So I went older school version of the Cubs logo.
Okay. And number 4 is the Oakland A's. This picture you sent me is not great.
No, it's not. But the logo itself is great. I'll tell you this. When we first came up with this topic, that was the first one that popped into my head. It was the elephant balancing on the baseball. I have no idea why the A's stopped using an elephant as their logo. Elephants are cool. They should bring that back. But also, it's a sweet logo that makes no sense. I mean, are they circus clowns? Are they baseball players? Are they circus-playing baseball players? Yes.
Both. All right. Yes. So number 3 is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yep. Again, another homer pick. I lived in Arizona for a little while. Became enamored with the franchise. But also, when we were growing up, dude, 1998, 99, that's when the Diamondbacks and the Rays came into existence. And that was when we were watching baseball for the first time and truly absorbing it. And the expansion was the coolest thing to me in the world. I was like, oh, man, teams can just pop up out of nowhere. That's incredible. And that color scheme of the teal and the purple and the gold. Yeah. Chef's kiss.
All right. Number 2 is the Toronto Blue Jays.
We're sensing a theme here with the colors. I like reds. I like whites. I like blues. But for me, the Blue Jays logo, I'm a fan of birds. Birds are my favorite animal. I don't know if you guys know that. I love birds. No. Blue Jays, I think, are the prettiest bird. And on top of that, I love in this logo specifically, the 2 variations of the blue. You have the deeper blue for the bird's bottom half, and then the lighter blue for the top part, and then the sneaky maple leaf in there as well. Boom. That's what makes it number 2. Drum roll for number 1. Your boy, Jake, hit me with it.
All right. Number 1 is.
Oh, we went in reverse. Bam. All right. So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Rockies logo. So you have the outline in purple behind the mountains. Okay. And then you have the Colorado flag sneaking in there, which is orange, red, and blue, and white, obviously. So it's a traditional Rockies logo with the imprint of the Colorado flag coming through. It's nice. Yeah. I love it. It's my favorite. Number 1. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, those are a solid 10. And again, if you guys obviously can't see it via audio, what we'll do is we'll be able to put it up on Instagram and Twitter so you can look at Ben's top 10. And what we'll do is we'll go to my top 10. real quick. Let me just share my screen so that everyone can kind of see my top 10. All right. Let's see.
Nice.
All right. So, number 10 is actually a team or fans, I should say, that I never really got along with. And that includes Dan. That's the Chicago White Sox. I mean, the colors are simple. To be honest, all I wear is black and gray, so this goes with everything. So that's number 10 for me. Number 9 is this actual Toronto Blue Jays.
That's a
This
sick
one,
logo too, though.
it does have this blue jay with a fake, like, candid tattoo on the shoulder, which
Dude, he's
for
got that
some
Roger
reason,
Clemens steroid arm too. You saw how
He
yoked
does.
he is right there. He's like, wow.
I
He's hugging
mean,
that
let's not start making allegations against a bird. So,
Okay, hey,
all right.
the bird's clean in
So
my book.
number 8 is actually the Yankees, but it's just the NY. And that's because to me, this is the Yankees. There's just you can tell the whole story with just that logo. So that's number 8 for me. Number 7 is this Tampa Bay Rays, which used to be the Yellow Rays. I know
Used to be.
Ben just got this on his hat, and it just reminded me.
This one
Yeah,
right here?
there it is. Yeah, that one right there.
Ooh,
This
ooh.
Tampa Bay Rays logo. I mean,
So,
it was
a funny
the
side note,
90s.
Jake. I opened the box where the hat came in. I take it out.
Yeah.
I show Hesu all 3 of them. She loved the Guardians one. She really liked the A's one. She looks at that one. She goes, "Yep." That was it.
No,
She just wasn't
no,
having it.
that
I was
I mean,
like, "You're wrong."
that's the best one. So number 7, I'll
absolutely.
say, is that. Number 6, I love this Detroit Tigers with an actual tiger and the font of the D. The tiger coming through the letter D. I really look. I don't know. To me, again, this is some nostalgia of that. Let me see. This is number 5. Is I know Dallas, you have a Seattle Mariners as well. I love this Mariners one. I mean, I can't say much more. So, number 4, the classic Dodgers one. I know you can just have the letters for the Dodgers, but I love this Dodgers with the baseball going through. Not gonna exactly pinpoint the reason why, but I love this one. And number 3 is this classic. It was the Florida Marlins, not the Miami Marlins. The Florida Marlins. I love it with the Marlin actually wrapping around the F. I think that's a pretty sick look. Number 2 actually had to go to a homer pick. But I wanted to make it number 1, but I didn't. This is number 2.
Oh,
The
nice.
Chicago Cubs 1984 logo. It is classic. You know what it is. Again, red, white, and blue, as Ben loves. And number 2. And then this actually is my number 1, Red Sox.
Wow,
That's a good one.
classic.
Yeah, I like
Again,
Not even
just
the B, the actual Red Sox.
they're literally Red Sox. They tell
It's a
the
terrible
entire
team
story
name.
pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's a terrible team name.
But
White
made
Sox
a
too.
cool
We're right there
logo.
with them.
Yeah, the
So,
Sox.
so Dels, what we'll do for yours is if you just want to go through yours as well, I will get it on screen so you can show us.
Sure.
And again, I'll say it after every time. If you guys want to see our logo pics, I will post this to our Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is Family Bases Pod. So, Dels, this is your top 10.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. So this
hold
was.
up. This is number 1. Sorry about that.
We're going in
This
reverse
is-
order for me.
This is number 10.
So that's my number 10. So yeah, it's the Houston Astros. I don't know. I like seeing orange in logos, but also I just like I just love the star. I don't know, something about, I just like stars. Chicago Star, and just this and the teams. But and it brings all of their team colors together. And I also like it when it just shows like the city or state that the team's playing for. And
Yeah.
since you probably wouldn't know it's an Astro, it's got to spell it out for you on the bottom. I don't know. I like it. It's a nice looking patch.
Sure.
So,
And coming in at number 9,
Pittsburgh, baby. Pittsburgh. I was there for just a couple months, but I really liked the city and really like I just love the color combo of black and gold, or yellow in this case. And the font it's just eye catching. It's the pop, and then it's got like the white outlining around the P. It's really pretty to me.
And coming in at number 8,
Toronto Blue Jays. Again, man, Toronto's on the map. But yeah, just I mean, with Benny on this, I think Blue Jays are super pretty, and I just like the way that they threw their logo together. They really picked whoever developed the sign, like the artwork. Solid choices, and the maple leaf there brings it together for O Canada.
and number 7 is that one.
Yeah, South Side, man. Chicago White Sox. You know, as much as you don't want to see them succeed, it's still they got a real clean, nice logo. They do. So.
And coming in at number 6,
Orioles. You got the black and orange, but then it's just the one with the baseball diamond in the background. I like that they're emphasizing the sport. It's neat. Yeah, I like it. Go O's.
Go
all right. And number 5 is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Dude, the Diamondbacks are tough for me because I think they have killer logos, like their color schemes, but I had to go with the expansion year. So just classic. I love the was that purple and like a teal. It was awesome. Like I remember, like Benny, like I remember when the D-backs and the Rays came out, and I was like, man, it's like that's amazing. So everybody, when we were playing Little League, everybody wanted to be the Diamondbacks in the first year, but that was elite back then.
You can get that purple T-shirt, baby. That purple T-shirt.
That purple tee. But yeah, I really like. it was tough because I really like the maroon and black and gold. But this was a solid color combo as well. Yeah, I like it. And I also liked the D, where the snake wraps in the D. That was a close one too. But anyway, yeah, number 4, we got the Florida Marlins. Yeah, man, love the color combo. Yeah, it's not like too wild. I mean, I like that. Miami Marlins, like they got the color, like it's vibrant. It's trying to reflect Miami, but I feel like this is more Florida in the sense of just. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like the new ones, like we're going out to a club type look. This is just like classic. Like hey, like we're here to play ball. But I like that they actually have.
We're here to win a World Series and sell off all of our players immediately.
Yes.
Within the hour.
Twice.
Sorry, Don.
And number 3 is the Red Sox.
Do them both Sox, man. I like their classic B. I like the red sock, logo, but this kind of brings them together because you still have the B and like the font that the B is, but spelling it all out for you. It's got the baseball in the middle, and then just the pair of Red Sox. I really like it. It's another good patch. That in Houston, they got some good circle ones. And then Seattle, man. Seattle's I like that they bring the Mariner compass in, like with the baseball at the center. So it's just like a clear emphasis on the sport.
Oh, like you're talking about the nautical star thing? The thing you think?
Yeah. So it's just a really cool logo. And I also vibe with their color. I feel like the colors that they picked go very well with their city because it's the Emerald City, right? So it's really it's cool.
And number 1.
Dude, that number one, oh man, I love that 1914 Cubby Bear, man. That is like Ben. I like when the Cubs and you, Jake, all of us pick ones with bears in it. So I mean, don't get me wrong. The C is cool, but I mean, the C can be for anything. Cleveland has a C, so I mean, yeah, it's very like okay, but yeah, I really like just little bears. I just picture him walking around with a baseball bat, looking for his little buddies, being like, let's play some ball, man. And then
let me interject. Why is his face so long?
Dude, all right, because apparently back in 1914, they had terrible artists that make bears look like anteaters.
I was going to say anteater bears are terrifying.
This dude he's not sure what to do. It's like, I'm either here for ants or I'm playing ball. I don't know. Steal your lunch at a picnic.
And those were our top 10. I mean, we have a lot of crossover, so
we do.
Yeah, we did. Big Blue Jays fans, all of us.
You know what we didn't have? The Cincinnati Reds.
I mean, true.
Ooh.
Because nobody wants to go to Cincinnati. Why do they have a baseball team?
Nobody picked Texas Rangers.
You know, it was a good one though. I do like the Rangers. Now they have another good.
And Jake, I was surprised as much as you like the Padres logos or jerseys and colors. You didn't pick the Padres.
I love the jerseys. The logos just didn't make the top 10. This is top 10 of all time, so it's hard.
Well, I feel like the logos that we've all picked were more like active logos. You know, like nobody picked the regular B for Boston. Like San Diego, like what you said, the SD mostly. I mean, there's a couple Padres ones, you know, like with a father running around or.
Right.
But yeah, we all had an active one.
So the next kind of topic that we planned on talking about was ballparks. What's our favorite all-time ballpark? And I'll just say, for the sake of it, for time, why don't we just say what our favorite is, and maybe one reason why it's our favorite. So I'll go first on that, and then Ben, and then Dallas one to end us. So I'm actually going to kind of steal this stadium before anyone else does. Kind of organized it for myself to pick the first one.
Wow.
And I'll just say it because I think it's the best stadium. I think Wrigley Field is my favorite. I mean, and one reason why, because everyone has loved to play there. I've never heard one legit complaint from a fan. A player, they used to have small batting cages. Now that's not a problem, but fans and players love to play there, watch a game there. So that's been a true thing all the way through. I'll pick Wrigley Field any day. Ben, why don't you go next? What's your favorite ballpark?
So I've been to only a handful. Runner-up has to be Old Turner Field, the one that we went to in the 2000s, just for memory purposes. I think it's a cool stadium, but there was nothing that really popped it. For me, the coolest stadium I've ever been to, and also one of the cheapest, which I think plays a huge part in it, was Arizona when I went to the Diamondback Stadium. Dude, my girlfriend and I at the time sat in left field bleachers immediately next to the pool, right? Or right field bleachers, I'm sorry, next to the pool that they have out there. For like $100 total, we ate, got drinks, both tickets in the outfield and everything else like that. Like all of it, relatively cheap, all things considered. So that Arizona, I think it's a cool stadium. It's very inexpensive, and one that people should check out if they get a chance.
That's cool.
And Dallas, what's your favorite ballpark?
Man, I spent a good while thinking about this one.
Because you've been to the most, I think.
Well, all right. So this is really tough. I'm going to have to give an honorable mention. Like, if I can't pick Wrigley, which I won't, because I feel like, I'm copying off my brother and I'm not going to do it. So, no, I do, like, that would have been my answer though. 100% would be Wrigley Field, just for the neighborhood, the in-park atmosphere, and right outside the ballpark atmosphere. I really think, non-biased, like bias aside, Cubs fan aside, is like, it is the best ballpark experience that you'll find for baseball. Like, and that does, like, it's excluding like parks that will have like all that extra high tech stuff that like ballparks are throwing in now, like where they have like fan experience. I think they might refer to it as, like, where they'll have like a radar gun, see how fast you can throw. It's like, bro, it's not a carnival. Like, we're here for a baseball game. Like, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's cool, but like, we're here for a ball game. But like the Cubs have fun stuff like right outside the ballpark though.
So you're not distracted in the ballpark, and I really like that.
St. Louis has that
Now,
too, yeah.
my number one, I really would have to go with PNC Park. PNC it's got a beautiful backdrop of the Pittsburgh skyline, and it's super cheap to get in. Like to Ben's note about being affordable, like ball games, and I really do think ball games should be affordable, and all sporting events should be. But I think I got in for like $9, and it was just crazy. The food options were great. You got like one of their, I think they might have like a Primanti Bros out there, which is like Lucky's in Chicago, Ben. So like it's a place, it's a staple. And I think those are actually family members that established the Lucky's and Primanti's. So
that's cool.
I think, yeah. So like they do the same like style of sandwich. So you get like anyways, but like, so it's there's good Pittsburgh staple in there. It's focused on the ball game. It is still, I mean, it's on the riverside, like one of the riversides. So you get that beautiful backdrop of the city. And like, there are still like some things to do around the ballpark, but it's not to the same extent of like Wrigley, but you still get that connection to the city. And it's a really good atmosphere and environment for sure. And the affordability just like goes into it. So I would have to go with Pittsburgh. Yeah, for sure.
It seems like the only thing they're missing is a good baseball team.
Baseball. That's what they're missing. So.
A little bit.
But yeah, it's
a really fun way to
great.
spend 3 hours.
Highly recommended though, for sure.
Yeah, it's there were so many possible options that I literally took like pictures of like 20 parks and had to I was like default Wrigley. So
yeah.
It's hard, but I will say again I'll put all of our picks as well on our Instagram and Twitter. So if you guys want to check out our favorite parks and logos, I'll make sure to put that online very soon after this post. So what we do after our third base is that we round third, come home, and we have our weekly home sports team take the week. So since we all are from, what we'll do is we'll have our weekly Chicago sports team take the week. So Ben, why don't you have your sports take of the week?
My sports take of the week is about the Chicago Bulls. Levine and DeRozan being all-stars is great. I think Levine's going to end up starting because KD won't play. I want to say that sounds right. And I can't even tell you when the last time the Bulls had 2 all-stars, at least on the same team. Maybe Joe and Rose back in the day, back in those early 2010s years. I mean, that's a decent while ago. So it's just exciting to finally, because I've been a Bulls fan through so many crappy years, from the Jordan era, obviously, but then through the baby Bulls and through all that, and then we get Derrick Rose, and then things start peaking again, and then he gets hurt, and then the Bulls are terrible for another decade. So it's exciting that the Bulls are finally, good again, and it makes basketball, for me at least, that much more enjoyable. I think I always loved basketball because I couldn't play it because I was so terrible, and I admired these dudes who could jump and dunk and do, insane stuff. So I've always had like a soft spot in my heart for basketball. So just, being able to watch the Bulls play well has been probably the highlight of my winter so far, especially since, the Bears crept out so early. So.
And Dale, what is your take of the week?
Just the Blackhawks are trash right now. Really hoping that they make some moves at the deadline. They are second to last in the conference. It's looking really just not good. So it's good to see the Bulls doing well. Bring some of that 90s glory back. But it's just tough to see, a team like the Hawks that were doing so well for a while. I mean, I'm about to say their key players are getting old, but they're my age. So I'm like, bro, I'm not that. So,
I mean, you're getting there.
No, but we are there. No,
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be 34 soon, bro.
Yeah, happy 34th birthday, by the way.
33. Wow.
Yeah. I called Benny for his birthday. I was like, hey, happy 34th birthday. And I texted him, he goes, hey, thanks for the fact that I'm 33. I was like, I had a dream. Dude, I had a dream that I was 34 and he turned 34. And so that dream was
Not
so
yet.
real.
Not yet.
You're
Yeah.
not yet, man.
Well, my take of the week is actually kind of referring to last week's take of the week, which is the NWSL. They're the women's soccer league here in the U.S. They actually just finalized a CBA agreement just like minutes before we started recording. So they're going to have preseason. So the Red Stars are going to start on time. And the Red
Where do
Stars
they-
are hopefully good.
Where do they play? Do they play where the Fire play, or do they have their own stadium?
Well, the Fire just moved this past season back to
They're at
Soldier, but the NWSL, the Red Stars still play at Toyota Park.
Oh, fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's a little bit outside of obviously the center of the city, but I mean, again, I went to go see a game this past June, and I mean, great atmosphere. And
How'd you like it?
It was
You like the park?
Yeah, I mean, I like the park. I've been there before. I saw the Fire play there. I think it was like almost now it feels like 10 years ago. But the Red Stars, I mean, I went there with myself. Again, I'm in a wheelchair, and I went there with me, my wife and daughter. My daughter who's 6, and my father-in-law, and we were able to sit in accessible seats, and it was still a great view, and it was fun. It was so I will always support the Red Stars, but I'm just glad they're gonna have start their preseason tomorrow. So that's my take of the week, is that I'm just happy they're starting. There's some team that I like in the city that's playing.
Right.
So
There you
and
go.
that will conclude our longest so far episode of On a Family Based Podcast. Again, my name is Jake.
My name is also Jake.
And
No,
so
that
is
is
mine.
Laugh.
And we'll have a brand new episode this time next week. So why don't you guys enjoy some sports? I know this upcoming week is the Pro Bowl, but why don't you guys enjoy some other sports besides football for a change? Hopefully we'll have CBA by the next week. If not,
Watch some hockey.
we'll keep hoping and praying that they have CBA figured out soon. So we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.